up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly.
Hello there everyone and welcome to today's Values Assembly. Let's kick it off in our usual way. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, and together we will. And our everyday focuses are, and our Stukeley motto is, and our Stukeley curriculum is, and 4 words that always make magic happen. Brilliant. Okay, here we are, another Values Assembly. Last week, cast your mind back, we were doing a little bit of kind of fact finding. It was a knowledge-based assembly all about a particular patron saint. I wonder if anyone can remember who it was. Yep, I'm sure I heard someone say St. George. And I wonder if you can remember which UK nation he is the patron saint of. Yep, I think you're right. It is England. I'm sure I heard somebody say that. It's a patron saint of England. So Friday the 23rd was St. George's Day. So I hope if you saw anything on the TV around that, you all remembered the learning that we did during assembly. Now today is a kind of learning assembly and there is going to be some knowledge that I'm hoping we're going to gain from it. But it's also in recognition of something that's happening right now in our community. It will probably be happening within our local community, certainly within our national community, and probably within, and more definitely in fact, within the global community. Now before we kind of find out what that is exactly, I have got an offer for you. I can offer you 1 chewy toffee sweet, or I can offer you a lovely big box of Cadbury's milk tray. So 1 chewy sweet or a box of Cadbury's milk tray. I wonder which you will choose. Pause me now if you need to, teachers, and we'll find out the answer. So I wonder what it was, this or this. Now I suspect that most of you said that you would rather have this. Am I right? Am I right? I must be. Now I'll let you in on the secret. This is what I would rather have as well. A whole box of loads and loads of chocolates, or just one little chew. And much as these are my very favourite toffees, treacle toffee, a whole box of chocolates. It's a good choice, isn't it? So I'm sure like me, lots of you went for that much more exciting option. The option where there was more, because we're all a little bit like that, aren't we? I suppose some might say we're maybe a little bit greedy perhaps, or maybe we just like that idea of lots of something and more of something. And I think a lot of people, in fact, most people are exactly the same. Now, it just so happens that within our school community, we have some families who are observing a particular kind of celebration at the moment, or a festival. And that is called Ramadan. Has anyone heard of it? Well, during the month of Ramadan, so it's 30 days, a month of Ramadan, it is a festival which is, or a celebration that is marked by Muslims all over the world. And during that month of Ramadan, it's a time when Muslims really focus on kind of exercising self-control. So there is no way that they would have been saying yes, probably to either of my options, however tempting it might have been, because actually chocolate and sweets and things are things we enjoy and we like and are lovely, but not things we actually need. So there's a difference between what we need and what we would like. And so the month of Ramadan is about showing restraint, about not just giving in to all the things that we want, but actually thinking about the things that we need. And it's also a time for prayer and for visiting the mosque. So we're going to find out a little bit more about Ramadan, what that looks like, what is involved with Ramadan and all of those things. Now, I wonder if any of you have got any bad habits. It's all right, I'm not going to make you tell me. I'm not even going to make you discuss it as a class. But I wonder if any of you have got any bad habits. Or I wonder if it's not so much that they're bad habits, but they're things that you do that you don't necessarily need to do, but you enjoy doing, and maybe aren't even particularly good for you, perhaps like eating chocolate or watching too much screen time, all of those things, but they're things that you kind of do anyway. What happens during Ramadan is that Muslims believe that it's a time to actually step away from those things. So to really think about, what do I need, what do I want? And some of the things that we fill our lives with and we fill our time with aren't wrong, but they're things that we actually could step away from and not do. That you can show restraint. That means to not just do everything that you want to do. And so sometimes Muslims will think about things that they want to give up during Ramadan. It might be watching television, it might be using their phones and going on social media, for example. I wonder what that would be like to actually, for 30 days, which is quite a long time, actually giving something up. I wonder how easy or how difficult that would be. I wonder what things it would be harder to give up. Now would be a really good time to pause, teachers, and have that conversation as a class. What might you choose to give up, or what would be really difficult to give up? And how would you kind of get over that challenge? So I wonder what you would give up. Pause me now. The other aspect, welcome back everybody, the other aspect of Ramadan is not just kind of giving things up, watching TV, that kind of thing, but it's also about fasting. Now, fasting means going without food for a period of time. And part of Ramadan, in fact, the very significant part of Ramadan, is actually going without food. And we'll talk about the details of that in a moment. And whilst you're not eating the food, the focus is on praying more, on reading the holy book, the Quran more, perhaps going to special services at the mosque and that kind of thing. So instead of eating, they're doing more things to kind of focus their minds on God and on seeking God's forgiveness, thinking about things that they feel that they've done wrong and they want to make amends for. So all of that is very much a part of Ramadan. Now, I wonder what it would be like to fast. We talked about how difficult it might be to give up things like watching telly or social media, for example. But I wonder what it would be like to fast. So I'm going to ask you a question to talk about, and by all means pause me in a moment, teachers. I wonder how long you have ever gone without food for, and you're not allowed to say the hours overnight, so when you're asleep. It has to be how long you've gone without food whilst you've actually been awake. I wonder how long that is. Pause me now. I wonder what you said. I suspect that most of you probably said, a handful of hours maybe. I know some of you kind of find it really hard to get from lunchtime, especially if it's an early lunchtime, to home time at the end of school without having something to eat. So I'm sure a handful of hours is the most that you've ever gone without food. Well, during Ramadan, during the 30 days of Ramadan, Muslims will fast during daylight hours, which means typically, especially at the moment in the month of April, is daybreak is around about 5 a.m. According to the computer today, it said it was around 5 a.m. And sunset, so when the sun is going down, so it's not officially daytime anymore, is about 8:15 tonight, apparently, according to the computer. So actually from 5 in the morning to about 8:15 at night, by my reckoning, we're kind of looking at a good sort of 15 or so hours. That's a long time, isn't it, to go without food? Not only going without food, but also going without drink. So for sort of over 15 hours to go without food and drink, that's actually really, really tricky, isn't it? I wonder what parts of going without food and drink, when in the day that might be the most difficult, because I suppose if you're busy doing things, you might not notice too much. But I wonder if there are times in the day when you think that might be trickier. Have a little chat as a class now. I expect you thought the same things as me. I thought it would be really hard. Imagine if we were at school, walking through the dinner hall at lunchtime and watching everybody else eating, as well as smelling that delicious food cooking in the kitchen, all those lovely smells, and it makes your mouth begin to water and your tummy rumble. That would be really, really difficult, isn't it? Or going into a room where other people are eating and drinking and knowing that you can't join in. I think that would be really, really tricky. So it must be really hard for Muslims to commit to 30 days of going without food and drink during daylight hours. But they believe it's really important to deny themselves and not always give in to everything that they want to do, and gives them that time to focus on God. Also to consider the fact that across the world there are plenty of people who just for one reason or another don't have enough food to eat, the poor for example, and so it's a time for them to really consider the poor. Now there are some people who would not be expected to take part in that fasting. For example, younger children, so certainly primary school age children. So we may have children at school. In fact, we do have children at school whose families are Muslims and are observing Ramadan, but they are not themselves observing Ramadan, and certainly not the fasting aspects of it because they're too young. Also, a lady that's expecting a baby, so if a lady is pregnant, there wouldn't be an expectation that she would be fasting food and water because it's really important for her health and for the baby's health. Instead, there would be an expectation that they would pay additional money to help buy food for the poor, for example. And all of this is tied up with their beliefs around what we call the 5 pillars of Islam. And some of you further up the school will have come across those. And one of those is around giving to the poor as well as fasting. So why do they fast, or why do Muslims fast during Ramadan? I wonder, not so much why, because it does say in the Quran that they should, and it's being obedient to what they believe God is saying to them. But I wonder what might be the benefit. I wonder if you can think of times when it might actually be a really good thing, instead of just saying yes to whatever you want, like that big box of chocolates, when it might be good to say, well, I would like it, but I don't need it, so I'm actually going to say no. And we don't do that very often, do we, as human beings? So I wonder if there will be, a positive, a benefit, something that we could learn from that idea of not always saying yes to everything, even if your tummy is rumbling, that actually we're in control of that. I wonder. Also, and this might be the part that Muslims particularly look forward to, at the end of that 30-day fast period, there is a great big celebration, Eid al-Fitr. So forgive me if I've not said that exactly correctly. And that's a festival where they break the fast. There'll be special services, processions, there'll be a special kind of elaborate meal. If you think about a kind of a Christmas meal, there'll be a big elaborate meal to celebrate the end of the fast. You wear your finest clothes and you spend time together with families and friends celebrating the end of that. So I wonder if for Muslims, that denial during that 30 days of when your tummy's rumbling, you really want to eat, but not doing it anyway. I wonder if the thought of that lovely celebration at the end is something that keeps them going. So there we have it. We know that across the world, Muslims will be celebrating a period of Ramadan. And I believe it started on 12th of April. So we're kind of coming towards the end, I suppose, of that 30-day period. I want to leave you, I suppose, with this thought. I wonder if you think that you could ever say no to something you really, really want, but maybe don't necessarily need. I wonder if you can think of any examples of things that you might want, but you know you don't need. And then I wonder if you can imagine what it would be like to say no to that, and whether you think that would be a good thing to do. I don't know. Okay. Thank you everybody for listening to today's assembly. The other reminder at the end that we had of last week's assembly was around safety. Don't forget, you'll be doing safety questionnaires, I think, in school this week if you haven't done them already. So keep thinking about our safety around one another, keeping ourselves safe and well and healthy during the course of this week. And I will see you next time.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens. Back on the values trail. It's a Tuesday, and I always enjoy hearing the message in those assemblies. Now, shout outs, start off with birthdays. We got one. It's a happy birthday to Emma in year 1. Happy birthday, Emma. I bet you're smiling now, here with your friends. Brilliant, have a good day. Just like with the last few hundred birthdays, millions of birthdays, lots of stories to tell about this birthday in a few years' time. Now we're going for Who's been doing lots of maths? Jam is stored in jars. Who's been calculating lots on numbots and TT Rockstars? Who's been doing lots of maths? Jam is stored in jars. Who's been calculating lots on numbots and TT Rockstars? Numbots and Rockstars. I've been around school with my book. I've been checking to see how well people are doing. Still a few children in each class that aren't getting on it. And you know how much of a difference it makes if you do. Anyway, down into foundation stage, numbots. Great work. Lily, Luca R and Alia, top 3 in their class. Samuel, William and Ellie, top 3 in the other class. Juniper got 17,106 points altogether. Magnolia only 6,662. So Juniper win the numbots competition this week. Year 1, Arabella, Eden and Chloe, top 3 in Cherry class. Lily, Lillian and Emma, her birthday, top 3 in Magnolia. Well done, you 6 girls. Super job. Cherry got 14,410 points this week. Magnolia 21,687. They take the prize. Year 2, Pine got 123,864 points this week. Maple, one week they're going to do it. 1 week, Maple are going to fly. They only got 69,960. So Pine take it. Top 3 in Maple. Leon, Jenny and Hannah, top 3 in Pine. Olivia, Elsie and Otis. Now, Olivia's score is absolutely massive and she would have beaten lots of classes on her own. One to watch there. Year 3, Willow got 116,306 points this week. Lime got 171,251. They take it. Adam, Harry, Cameron, top 3 in Willow. Rose, Bo and Josh W, top 3 in Lime. Well done, you 6. Acacia got 100,217 and they beat Birch, who only got 54,860. Sowler, Alan and Isaac, top 3 in Acacia. Harrison, Amelia and Kieran, top 3 in Birch. One day they'll get it. Year 5, top 3, Ava, Farrell and Oscar in Chestnut class. Max, Sophia and Josh D, top 3 in Beach. Now, I set a challenge this week. I thought that the Year 5 challenge would definitely be won by Beach class because they were remote learning all of last week. Chestnut got 68,711. Beach got 76,921. Beach get it, not by much. Well done, Beach. Good scores. It's brilliant to have you all back in school today. Absolutely brilliant. And then we finish with Year 6, Oak. 84,554, Sycamore 97,235, Rowan, Janet and Ben, top 3 in Oak, George, R, Heather and Vishal, top 3 in Sycamore. Good scores, big scores. Today I'll come round to check who's been doing it. Well done everyone who's been committed to that this week. Now, I promised you a bit more Croc-Man. Bookshops open today for Foundation. No. What are you saying, Mr. Singletary? Bookshops open today for Year 1, Year 2, Year 4 and Year 5. First chance to buy a copy of Croc-Man. I've only got 20. What I didn't tell you last week is that these 20 are going to be sold for a special price. After this, after they've all gone, the next lot will cost more. Still going to be cheaper than Amazon, but at the moment it's much cheaper because we're so excited about getting the book out there. The Adventures of Croc-Man and Wolf Girl, Rise of Dr. Fishnet. Check this out. Hey, I've just thought, maybe this could be our maybe this could be our reading assembly book in a few weeks' time. Or at least a chapter, that'd be great. Blurb, when a magic stunt goes disastrously wrong, best friends, William and Vanessa, wake the next day to discover they've been transformed into superheroes, but there's just one catch. They're no longer human. William's a crocodile and Vanessa is a wolf. Worse still, an evil fish robot is on the loose in the city and is creating an army of aquatic animals in his top secret lab. With no other option, it's up to William and Vanessa to spring into action and become the crime-fighting duo, Croc-Man and Wolf Girl. But with time running out, can they use their newly discovered powers to take down this fantastically despicable bad guy? Or will it all end in total disaster? From this day forward, fish shall rule the earth. Got a few of those on sale, signed by the author. Some, this one's got a bonus little picture in. Some signed with a bonus little picture. They're all at £2.50. I've only got 20 at £2.50. After I've sold out, I've got to go back to my supplier, and they're back at a full price, which is going to be a £5. So get in there. Might also have some merch coming your way. £2.50. We haven't got a line in Crocman and Wolf Girl badges yet, but I need to talk to the author about whether we can get a license for that. Also, just before we go, I mentioned how Riley, our author, his dad helped write the book with him, checked punctuation. His sister's in school. I also forgot to say yesterday, feeling a bit bad about this, his mum also works in school. Yeah? Mrs. Franklin, year 3. Very proud. Good to see those books getting sold. Have a good day, everyone. Oh, let's not go anywhere. Most important 60 seconds. The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. Oh, nice angle. Do you see what's behind me? Literally, playground boxes, playtime boxes. I promised you these, you've been waiting a long time, but it's because they're awesome. If I just tip that a little bit, you can see, whoa, it's all gone wonky. You can see that we have got lots of playground boxes. One for every class. Look, Maple class, there's yours. They're nearly ready. When these playtime boxes are ready, we're going to put the lid on, and then every class are going to have their own box to take out at playtime. Loads of things to do in them. Bats, balls, skipping ropes, things that you throw through the air, frisbees, we've got cat's cradles, all kinds of stuff to do. We're still adding to them, but we're getting them ready for your playtimes. You'll need to look after the equipment. You need to play with it sensibly, but it will hopefully add a bit of zhoosh to your playing lunch times. And we love a bit of zhoosh here, don't we? See you later.